Welcome to the Assimilators. It's time to dig deeper into the character sketch of Iago in Othello. You can see the typed version of this topic in the description or by enabling captions in YouTube player. Let's begin. Introduction. Iago, the man who is not what he claims to be, is one of the most striking creations of Shakespeare who lasts an immeasurable impact on every person, in or out of the play. He is the most clever out of the bunch who devises every person around him to serve on his own end. He is angry with Othello for not promoting him to the rank of a lieutenant, and he uses every possible villainish trick for the demise of Othello, Desdemona, Cassio and Rodrigo, although he used Rodrigo's money to put up with his enemies but stabbed at the end through his unescapable webs. A critic remarks on the purely evil side of Iago, a more artful villain than this Iago has never been portrayed. He spreads his net with a skill in which nothing can escape. To simply put, Iago is the worst villain ever portrayed in dramas, films or novels. Iago and other villains from other stories. As already asserted by a critic, Iago is the most subtle knave in the entire history of English literature. Comment below if you know more terrible villains other than Iago. Iago is the most callous person who burns every person trying to run before and after him. His unpredictable callousness even surpasses Milton's Satan in Paradise Lost, who is sympathetic with his fellow fallen angels who are thrown into the burning depths of hell. But on the contrary, Iago is observed playing with his fellow mate, Rodrigo. Furnes, the Christian governor of Malta in The Jew of Malta, is also noticed working for the betterment of his city, protecting it from Turks and Jews. On the flip side, Iago lives for himself and his motives. So, Iago is quite different from the villains in his contemporary literature as well as after his debut. Iago's motives. Iago hunts for the motives to set up his webs of conspiracy for the characters he hates the most. What motivates Iago to hate them? He has stated about the pursuits behind his agony is Cassio's unjust promotion. But in another soliloquy, he blabbers that Othello has, perhaps, slept with his Amelia. I hate the Moor, and it is thought aboard, that, twixt my sheets he's done my office. He devises the same motive for Desdemona, that she might have an affair with Cassio, and thus proves his motive through, at first, depriving Cassio of his newly attained rank, and then Cassio's requests to Desdemona for the restoration of his rank and position. St. Coleridge terms Iago motiveless because according to him, Iago was an inborn devil, which is rather grotesque because if Iago is a devil then why blood is running through his body? But Iago is a humanistic craft of Shakespeare. He is far from motiveless as his motivation circles around his love for power. Iago's hypocrisy. Iago is, from top to bottom and left to right, a hypocrite, but his hypocrisy dwells on every character of the drama. He says to Rodrigo about his hypocrisy while serving under Othello, in following him, I follow but myself, heaven is my judge, not I for love and beauty but seeming so, for my peculiar end. I am not what I am. His remarks, I am not what I am, are sufficient enough to give a clue of his terrible hypocritical nature which he exhibits in many crucial parts of the play. For instance, Iago is behind the duel between Rodrigo and Cassio, and indeed, he sends Rodrigo for some fists, but on the spot, he mistreats Rodrigo and stabs him. So, Iago turns out to be what he is not, even to his dear Rodrigo. Iago's trust. This is the most horrible weapon of Iago which he utilizes to hunt his prey. His wordful skills are strongly spellbinding and he is trusted by every person. Both Othello and Desdemona call him honest Iago. Cassio, Brabantio and Rodrigo also show their faith in Iago. But as we know, their trust in Iago is an eyewash and things are revealed after a heavy toll of life of the protagonists. But Iago is actually honest to the readers who read this play. Notice, you are well turned now. But I will set down the pegs that make this music as honest as I am. He never conceals his evil intentions from the readers, and he honestly and earnestly reveals them to the readers in his soliloquies. Other traits in the character of Iago. Iago's villainy is mainly intellectual and devilish, and sometimes the results of his villainy exceed his expectations. It is engendered. Hell and night must bring this monstrous birth to the world's light. Iago's revenge is mostly ignited by jealousy. He cannot tolerate who surpasses against him. He is subtly expert in scanning through the inner psychological minds of the people around him. His villainous expressions are interestingly marked with humor. Conclusion. Manifestly, Iago is a complex blend of intellectual villainy whose humorous verbal expressions as well as horrible inner confession make a reader tremble with fear. You have successfully made through the end of this video. Pen down your valuable suggestions for our improvement or what to cover next. Like and subscribe if you find this video useful. Dislike and unsubscribe if this channel is no more useful to you. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.